are a way to communicate and get in touch with a person with dementia, and in this sense, they respond to basic psychological needs. The activities have to be simple and pleasant. It is more important that a person is engaged in a pleasant activity rather that he or she complete it correctly. Please take into consideration that people with dementia often do not have the initiative to start an activity. Sometimes, an encouragement is needed. Don't ask a person with dementia to do things that are or her abilities. It doesn't have to become a source of frustration. When proposing an activity, it can be useful to pay attention to the context in which the activity takes place, in order to facilitate concentration. Person with dementia's mood: if he or she becomes anxious or frustrated, it is advisable to interrupt the activity. Time: do not continue activities for longer than it can bear. The activity has to be satisfying and not frustrating. There are many different activities that can be done with people with dementia. Self-care activities that help maintain independence. Rest activities to re-energize your loved one's body and mind. Leisure activities to provide enjoyment. And work activities to make your loved one feel valued. Being involved in a variety of household chores, social engagements, and leisure activities fosters pleasure, a feeling of belonging in the world, a sense of self-identity, answering to psychological needs. When planning activities for people with dementia, it is important to consider their history, their likes and dislikes, and their individual needs and limitations. Activities proposed can range from art, to music, to physical exercise, to social contribution, sensory stimulation, and reminiscence. The choice about what activities can be proposed is obviously based on the person with dementia's abilities and limitations. So, for example, you can decide to propose active or passive activities, indoor or outdoor activities. In the early stage of dementia, individuals will likely continue to enjoy activities that brought them pleasure previously. When possible, it is important to continue encouraging the person to do activities independently. In the middle stage of dementia, individuals typically begin to need greater assistance. Potential activities include for a walk, helping with household chores, crafts, painting, reminiscing, dancing, and listening to music. In the late stage of dementia, it is necessary to look for activities that are stimulating but don't provide too many choices or challenges. Sensory stimulation is an option. Now let's see some examples. Cognitive stimulation is an activity aimed at the overall well-being of the person, in order to increase the involvement in tasks, stimulating residual skills, and slowing down the functional loss caused by the dementia. These activities are based on the ability of the brain to reorganize itself, neuroplasticity. The residual cognitive abilities are strengthened and compensate for the less active ones, because they are not used, or because they are physiologically deteriorated. It does not imply the execution of difficult or demanding tasks, but include all those activities that require cognitive effort. Cognition can have positive effects, not only on cognitive efficiency, but also on mood and motivation. To support time and space orientation, it can be useful, before starting any activity, to remind the person with dementia what day it is, looking at the calendar, or at the clock, or together, and where we are. During the day, ask him or her again for the date and help to remember it. You can also read the news together and discuss and comment on the day's events. It can become a conversation stimulus. Other activities can specifically involve memory. A memory impairment can prevent people from participating in discussions regarding recent events. It is very important to remember the past, because it gives confidence in oneself and strengthens the sense of identity. Looking at photographs together, remembering episodes and people. Asking and talking about episodes from his or her life that he or she remembers well, for example, childhood, school, marriage. Watching old movies, listening to his or her favorite music. The goal of these activities is to remember the events in detail, and in the right chronological order, but to bring back the events of the past, and sharing them. Music can be powerful, so another possible activity sees the involvement of music. Studies have shown that music may reduce agitation and improve behavioral issues that are common in the middle stage of dementia. Even in the late stage of dementia, a person may be able to tap a beat or sing lyrics to a song from childhood. Music provides a way to interact, even when verbal communication has become difficult. Participating in household chores, when the person wishes to do so, is an excellent opportunity to make him or her feel at home as a familiar and friendly place that he or she can take care of. Based on his or her skills, a person with dementia can be involved in cleaning up, making the bed, washing or drying dishes, cooking, remembering a recipe, spreading out clothes, or separate white from dark clothes, folding clothes, setting up the table, or filling the glasses with water, and so on. It is important to give step-by-step instructions and or show how to do it. People with dementia can be involved in creative activities, such as the creation of objects to decorate the home, or to make presents to loved ones. Handicrafting, drawing and coloring, knitting or embroidery, collecting flowers and letting them dry, making pearl jewelry, and many others that you can imagine. The important thing is the creative use of time and the pleasure that the person derives from that activity. Outside activities can be beneficial. Taking a walk, but remember, it is very important to say where you are going and what you will do before leaving. Spending time in nature. Going shopping and gardening, water the flowers, take care of the plants, the garden. Playing games can be another activity to do with people with dementia. In addition to being a moment of socialization and social inclusion, games can also be considered a tool to stimulate residual cognitive functions. There are specific games that have been created to stimulate memory, language, attention, problem-solving, association, and categorization skills. Even traditional games can have a positive impact in stimulating cognitive functions. In particular, serious games are games, physical or digital, created with a primary purpose other than pure entertainment. Some serious games have been created with the aim of stimulating cognitive functions and social inclusion. The rationale is that enjoyment produces a state of well-being that acts as a reinforcement to behavior. Within the scope of Bridge Project, 8 serious games that can positively act on cognitive and behavioral symptoms of dementia, and that aim at the inclusion of people with dementia, have been developed. In the next modules of this course, you will get further information on the games created, and have the chance to download them. Thank you for your attention.